A new directive issued Thursday shows the Pentagon will immediately take steps to remove as many as 1,000 out transgender service members. Pentagon officials previously suggested the total number of transgender troops is much higher, more than 4,000. Now, this comes after the Supreme Court's decision to allow President Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military to go forward. Among those affected by the ban is Navy Commander Emily Schilling, who sued to block the ban from taking effect. She said in a statement on Instagram Tuesday, "We are not a theory. We are not a policy debate. We are real people doing real jobs in defense of a nation we still believe in, even when it struggles to believe in us." Another affected service member is Space Force Colonel Bree Fram, who told the New York Times in March that she will continue serving, quote, "until I am dragged away." Colonel Fram joins us now. She's here in her personal capacity. Colonel Fram, thank you very much for coming to the weekend.
It's a pleasure to join you this morning.
So the number one question at the outset, are you still in the military?
I am. I go to work every day. I lace up my boots, I put on my uniform, and leverage my 22 years of service to help define and develop our Space Force's next generation capabilities that we're going to need to fight and win far into the future.
Colonel, you have been in the military for 2 decades. In those 2 decades, just to be clear, have you ever gotten any special treatment because you're trans?
You can look at my performance reports, and every year there's a block check that says meets standards. And you can do the same for just about any transgender service member, and you will see that meet standards or exceed standards.
Yeah.
And so there is...
Same as everyone else.
There is a standard we all have to meet, exactly. And there are gates along the way, and if you don't meet the standard, you're not going to be in the military for very long. So absolutely, I have met those standards.
So what is behind this? What do you believe? And when you talk to the other, whether they're out, transgender military service members or not, when you guys are talking about this, and as this kind of fear is starting to settle in, this chilling effect, all of you who have said, I will die for this country, right, that I will do, like you said, until I get dragged away, that is a military person right there. They are ready to go. What do you guys say? Why do you think this is happening?
Well, it's hard to speculate on what's on any individual's mind, but you just imagine the stereotypes that are out there for who transgender people are, and particularly who transgender people are in the military, that some people believe that a trans woman like me would be too busy worrying about what I'm going to wear that night or weeping about my gender identity to the point where I wouldn't be able to return fire. But that is absolutely not the case.
Which is also how Pete Hegseth talks about, in general, women soldiers. He has no respect, and he keeps talking about how he wants to pull, women away. So you have been in for 20 years, and a lot of the time they talk about, oh, it's just too expensive to take care of our trans troops. It's just the medical care is so expensive. How much do you think the military has invested in your 20-year career?
Well, in me in particular, they've given me multiple degrees, tons of classes, and the ability to design and develop our nation's most advanced technology.
So they're just throwing that away.
And there are decades invested in me and millions of dollars in me and thousands of other transgender service members. I mean, when you add it up, we're talking probably $1 billion invested into us or more that would be out the door. And we don't develop commanders and colonels in a day.
Right.
It takes time to build those leaders who are capable of training the next generation and making sure we have this unbroken line of service members ready to fight tonight and defend this nation's interests.
Colonel Fram, I want to again stress you are here in your personal capacity. I also want to stress that I hesitate to play this sot, but I mean, given the investment that the nation's military has put in you, given your exemplary service over 2 decades, I want to play for the audience and for you something that the Secretary of Defense said in a video he put on X on Tuesday. And I want to get your reaction on the other side.
We are leaving wokeness and weakness behind. No more pronouns, no more climate change obsession, no more emergency vaccine mandates, no more dudes in dresses. We're done with that.
Colonel Fram,
That's really professional.
Right, really professional. It's offensive on
its face,
on every level. But you are a member of the military. You are a transgender person, transgender woman, serving this country ably. What do you think of a Secretary of Defense saying those words?
Well, I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and there is a chain of command in the military that I am obligated to follow. But when things are said that are factually untrue, we have an obligation to talk about those things. And if there's one thing I would like to note is that when I or anyone else shows up and we do our duty, we wear our uniform. And the first thing that anyone notices about any of us when we walk into the room are the credentials and the responsibility and the capability that that uniform shows. It shows that we have hit those gates over the course of our career. It shows that we have become advanced warfighters in the skill sets that we've developed. And so when I walk into a room, the first thing they see is a colonel. They see that rank. They do not see a transgender person. And then we have the conversation that follows from that about the mission that we have and accomplishing what this nation needs of us.
It's not distracting you guys in meetings. It's not happening.
Not in any way. In fact, this week when the Supreme Court made its decision, I saw that news and I went right to a meeting with my 3-star and with several other individuals about what are we going to do 10 years down the road, because here's this amazing thing that we need to bring into reality to make sure that we are the most capable service out there, that we can secure our nation's interests in, from, and to space, not just tonight, but far, far into the future.
It is incredible to me that you could have a Colonel Fram who speaks with such passion about your duty and about your duty to this country, and that you and fellow service members are having to go through this, having your duty and your oath, your commitment to your task and the country questioned in this way. I'm offended for you.
Well, and the discrimination aside,
right.
The blatant discrimination aside,
right.
And the horrible language, this is dumb. If he claims to be trying to uphold warriors in the warfighting mission, why are we eliminating from the ranks of the military someone like you with specialized training, that the military has had such an investment, that our taxpayer dollars have trained you?